And now on to the 29th, where the Epsom forces run into some heavy opposition from the Germans. The map on the screen shows the German activity on the day, with 2nd SS Panzer Corps bringing in reinforcements and making some pretty strong counterattacks into the salient that the British had established. So let's pick right up with the text, and we have the morning of the 29th broke bright and clear, and air reports of large-scale enemy movements towards the battle flowed in continuously. The 2nd Tactical Air Force was out in strength, and great damage was being inflicted by both aircraft and by artillery, who were also in action early. Now, the 15th Division in the west attempt to push out to the south and to the west, but that's when they run into this big German counterattack that we can see coming in from the south and west. Some of the German forces even making it as far as Chu before being knocked out, and then the line stabilizes pretty much where you see it depicted here. It doesn't really move much from this day. Now in the south, the 11th Armored Division makes a push towards SK. They push out as far as the road and get a rifle brigade in position holding the location, but again we see a big German counterattack coming in from the south, and that compels a withdrawal back to the bridgehead around Baron. And those forces yesterday that we saw take Gavru are also pulled back, just holding on to the bridge only. And then going back a page to cover the situation to the east, the Germans were massing for a counterattack up here around Karpake Airfield, but Typhoons and other air assets managed to halt that, as well as the ground forces. The 43rd Division, in fact, had managed the previous day, I just didn't notice it, to push up and take the village of Marseillais. They also, on this day, pushed south and east to widen the salient and to secure the flanks of these forces that are getting counterattacked down here in the south and west. And at the end of the day, the lines are more or less as they're depicted here on the white line. This is the situation as of the 30th, tomorrow. But with such a strong German counterattack, the lines just basically fluctuate in and out a little bit and stay as they're depicted right here. But we'll cover the end of the battle tomorrow. So we'll pick up with the squadron summaries with 441. Flight Lieutenant Johnstone returned from England flying an Oster 5 for the squadron, and Squadron Leader Brown returned today. An armed reconnaissance of the Flare Conde Theory Harcourt area by 12 of our aircraft resulted in destruction of 5 trucks and 1 tank. 1 additional truck was damaged. Only 11 aircraft took part, as the one flown by Flight Officer Kronk developed a glycol leak and he was forced to land at base after takeoff. 12 Spitfires made an armed reconnaissance of the Villers-Bocage, Tourigny, Aunay area. A number of vehicles were seen and 1 was damaged. Early in the evening, a further reconnaissance of the Mézidon, Falaise, Aunay-sur-Odon area resulted in the destruction of 12 trucks and 2 damaged. Several motorcycles were also destroyed. And then 442, dawn readiness but not aloft until 1305 when 6 scrambled, saw a number of enemy but visibility poor, raining, and the foe got away in big layers of cloud. Showers on and off all day, standing by but not aloft again. And then 443 describes the weather as continuing cloudy with no wind, steady light rain during the afternoon. Both Flight Officer Scarlett and Flight Officer Irwin returned to the airfield today, having flown over a replacement Spitfire and an Oster 5, respectively. Although looking at the map, I believe it was a more eventful day for 443 Squadron than they record in that summary. So let's go ahead and get into the individual missions, and we start with a 0655 to a 0815 armed reconnaissance, and this is going to be armed reconnaissance Flare Conde Thury Harcourt. MET attacked in the Falaise area, resulting in 2 smokers and 3 damage. So again, interdicting those reinforcements and supplies coming up to the front. And then we have 443 up on an armed reconnaissance 0715 to 0855, and we have weather cloudy, no wind, scattered showers. 12 aircraft dispatched on armed reconnaissance 0715. Went south beyond Villers and back over the same route, past Caen and returned to base. Very little traffic on roads, which is actually kind of surprising to hear. 10 to 12 scattered MET seen and shot up, resulting in 3 flamers and 2 smokers. No enemy aircraft and meager, inaccurate light flak from Tango 9602, so they made it all the way down here to the south. And then next up, we have another armed reconnaissance by 441. It looks like it's in the exact same spot. Caen, Thury, Harcourt, Falaise, Mézidon, MET were attacked. 4 flamers, 1 smoker, 1 damaged, 1 tank damaged. And since I don't have coordinates called out, I'm just putting these in likely locations just for the sake of consistency on the way things are depicted. I'm not sure exactly where these were, but that is a very, very likely location, those main roads coming up to Con. Then next up is our 1310 to 1410 scramble by 442, and this is instructed by Kenway to proceed to B2, vectored from there south to Villers-Bocage, and we have the B2 airfield depicted right there just southwest of B3, and then vectored south against aircraft and 12 plus 190 seen east of Villers-Bocage. Enemy aircraft disappeared into cloud, could not close. Flak inaccurate light from Villers-Bocage. 10/10ths, 8,000 visibility poor, east con, west con, visibility good. And then up is another armed reconnaissance, and this is 443, 1435 to 1555, and this is 12 aircraft dispatched to that same general area. 2 returned early due to RT, or radio, difficulties. The number 2 aircraft acting as escort. Patrolled area between Bayeux and Caen as far south as Villers and southeast to Lasseau. Very little activity on the road seen. 8 to 10 MET seen. 5 attacked, 2 destroyed, 2 smokers, 1 damaged. 5 ambulances seen, but were not attacked. And that's another generic location right there. I just put that on the road from Lasseau to Caen, but that could have been anywhere. And I'm surprised to see the notes of very little vehicle traffic on the roads. It would probably have been very, very busy right here around Villers-Bocage with these reinforcements coming up to the Epsom battle, but probably owing to the weather more than anything else, and just, well, the natural difficulties in being able to spot vehicles moving on the ground from the air. But they sure do seem to be taking out a lot of stuff, so possibly more vehicles than usual just dispersed in the open, visible but not moving on the roads. That's how I am now interpreting what's going on here. So we have clouds 7/10ths to 10/10ths at 8,000 feet with rain in some places. A piece of flak struck the aileron of the aircraft flown by Flight Lieutenant Hunter, but caused only minor damage. Flak opposition very light but accurate. We have 441 up again on a 1505 to 1650 armed reconnaissance. Villers-Bocage, Tourigny, Aunay, 1 MET damaged. Flight Officer Myers' aircraft was badly holed by flak, but returned to base without difficulty. And we have a note written on the side, on the next sortie, and yeah, I see what they mean there, because Myers was not listed as participating in this sortie, but he was listed as flying at 1800 on the next sortie, and that is another armed reconnaissance. And this is armed reconnaissance, Mezzadon, Falaise, Aunay, sur Odon. Scattered MET were seen and attacked. There were 3 flamers, 9 smokers, 2 damaged, and 2 MC, I believe that's motorized car, flamers, and 1 damaged. And then the last mission of the day is an 1840 to 2000 patrol carried out by 443. 12 aircraft took off on a frontline patrol between Caen and Bayeux. Patrol uneventful, no enemy sighted, no flak, opposition nil. 7/10ths cloud from 6 to 25,000 feet. Visibility good, but poor in squalls, so an eventful day on the ground when it comes to locating and taking out these vehicles as they make their way up to the front. So that is all that I'm going to have for the day. I'm going to press on to the 30th and have a look at the way the Epsom battle turns out. I believe the Luftwaffe makes more of an appearance on the next day, and we're going to look at some more battles in the air. So I'll see you then. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.